When I was a teenager, one of my lines to impress girls was, "We grew up only by subtraction, removing things from our lives like a sculptor working on a piece of marble." As long as it sounds cheesy now, there's something truly fascinating about minimalism, especially in street photography. Having less but getting more give the exact idea of what minimalistic street photography really is. That's because we usually tend to add, but in this case we have to subtract. So in this video I'm gonna share with you my exact process for creating minimalistic street photos. But you can really adapt these tips in any genre you like. An easy but effective way to achieve a minimalistic look in street photography is by using silhouettes, the most effective example of minimalistic approach. We can recognize a distinctive and identifiable design without details and understand the message of the figure through its overall form while maintaining a sense of tension and drama, but mostly contrast. Contrast gives a strong glance to your images, and you know, in the social media era, Instagram and stuff, the first glance is one of the most important things to keep the viewers engaged. The easiest way to obtain a silhouette in our frame is by metering for the background, keeping the subject in the shadow. And you can do that not only with the lights from behind, but also in a strong, very harsh sunlight situation. Keep this in mind because especially if you shoot during the day, it will be much harder to have a light from behind. But also silhouettes provide us a lot of negative space to play with, which is the very next chapter of this video. As the name suggests, the negative space is everything around your subject that is not your subject. For example, this black in the background here is my negative space and I'm the subject, so I'm the positive space, white space, I don't know. In traditional street photography, there are usually a lot of people and maybe a lot of things going on, but in a more minimalistic approach, we probably want the exact opposite. But keep in mind that negative space doesn't always mean empty. You can have texture, colors, or pretty much everything you want, but keeping your negative space non-distracting will help the viewers focus their attention on your subject or whatever you want. Everything can be used as a negative space. You have a whole city and its environments to play with. But I'm gonna keep this for later in the video. There are no rules here and everything can be minimalistic, as I showed you in some photos before. But it's also true that black and white in a minimalistic approach helps us a lot. Removing colors from the equation takes away a lot of distraction, which leads us to a more minimalistic look, therefore a much more intense images. In black and white, we do not have to deal with, I don't know, maybe a strong red umbrella in the background, a yellow coat, a green hat, because keep in mind that any single detail can draw away the attention from our viewer. I'm not saying you have to use black and white to justify laziness, I'm saying that in some cases, black and white can enhance your minimalistic look, especially in a very high contrast situation where we almost have no midtones like gray, but we only have black and white. I'm going to be super short on this one because it's nothing more than that. Changing the perspective by tilting your camera upward or downward, or maybe shooting from a lower angle or a higher angle, it's a super easy way to getting rid of things we do not want in our frame, and also helps us having a much more interesting compositions. By the way, if you made this far, it would be cool if you subscribe to the channel. This will help me grow this project, but also bring you more and more valuable content. Cities are packed with awesome geometric shapes and patterns. Think about the straight line of buildings, the repetitive patterns of windows, and the sharp angle of street corners. When you focus on this element and strip away all the extra stuff, you can create some really cool images. One of the best part, as I was saying before, of using this type of approach in street photography is that you can actually hide behind city environments, something like people, cars, or anything you do not want in the frame. This keeps your composition clean and focused on what really matters. You can also do some sort of reverse engineering here. For example, this photo that I took, the mirror is not used to hide things behind, but to actually show only a very small part of the city in this frame. Another super cool thing of this approach of using geometry and city environments in your street photography is that lines and shapes can appeal people from all over the world without any sort of cultural or linguistic barrier of any kind. So, in a nutshell, using all of these tips combined together in order to achieve a more minimalistic look can help you give a strong boost to your photos simply by removing every sort of things that it's unnecessary to tell your story. I'm actually writing down more episodes like this one based on different approaches in street photography, therefore be sure to come back, to subscribe to the channel, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, but mostly let me know your thoughts in the comments.